tour event, or that probably would have won Shot of the Year at the Star Awards this year. So it's going to be a left-handed battle. GU Yuting to start off this best of 7 with the serve. Love all. Strong start there. Didn't expect the rallies to go so long so quickly. I felt like it'd take a little bit of time for Hina Hayata to adjust to the pace of play.
We will see.
Yeah. Break off the top of the net there to favor GU Yuting. So Hina Hayata has been playing in T2 as well, so she's had some chances to play against a few wildcard players from China. Oh, burned corner to corner, quick reaction. How do you feel when you play some of the top Chinese players about the reaction time and the change of angle?
I feel like really, for me it's really difficult. They play so fast, take the ball very early, close at the table, so not so good feeling, I can say. But I think they play a similar game style, so I think they will both take the balls really early and maybe to try play deep forehand on the both sides.
Well, it's funny you say that about the play styles, because Hina Hayata, if I remember correctly, is using Chinese rubber on the forehand. She's one of a few Japanese players to be doing this. Her and Kasumi Ishikawa, I believe, we see following in the footsteps of people who've been successful before them, from shovel serves to, you know, taking the ball off the bounce, a little tackier, spinnier forehands. So first towel break of the game, GU Yuting leading 4 points to 2. You know, again, this tournament, when you look at the different players who are here, blue sponge on the forehand side for Hina Hayata, I was going to say that the Chinese women really run deep in the lineup. It's just interesting to see so many people that you might not see as much on the World Tour. On the men's side, we've got sort of the second string Chinese national team players from Yan'an and Fangbo. Lin Gaoyuan is someone that I know the world's watching quite closely after just winning a big tournament in Asia. So we'll be able to see him at the World Cup, the Asian Cup. Lin Gaoyuan is, if you see him, you'll be impressed, because if you haven't seen him before, he's much smaller physically than most of his teammates. He doesn't have the massive quads of, say, Liang Jinquin, Fan Zhendong, or Zhang Jike.
Now good serve placement from Hina Hayata and receive mistake from GU Yuting.
Very strong opening backhand. You know, this is one thing also, as you mentioned, the styles of play quite similar. Hina Hayata also has a very strong backhand, confident near the table. It's interesting to see two left-handed players play. You might think, oh, that just should be normal for them, but it's really not, because left-handed players don't have the chance to play left-handed players very often.
Yeah, it's actually a rare situation, I think, for both players. And, actually, I know a lot of left-hand players, they don't like to play against left.
Right. That's interesting, right? It's tough to recover when Hina Hayata takes that big forehand, getting back into position for the backhand-to-backhand rally. Again, the physical fitness, the recovery. She's going to be tested out here. Ooh, that was fast off the bounce. I mean, with Hina Hayata that far behind the table.
Yeah, already the receive was very good. Just deep in the forehand, and one more ball from GU Yuting. Yeah, it was really good, because she plays in the backhand. I think the ball will come back and the rally will continue.
Yeah, clever pattern there from GU Yuting.
Yeah, this is exactly what I thought the tactic will be. Like really deep forehand, open the game, and then move the opponent.
I feel like early in the point against a lot of left-handed players, playing wide out to the forehand can be effective. We saw it with Koki Niwa versus Xu Xin. That was pretty exciting. Very rare to see Xu Xin get beaten by a non-Chinese player.
5-9.
GU Yuting has 5 set points, game points. So let's see if she will take the first. She's on receive. Actually, she's receiving very good. She looks like she has no trouble with the Hayata service.
Talked about Hina Hayata's backhand. When I think about Hina Hayata's backhand, I think about the tip down and the drive, the pace she really gets. But here she goes for spin more, breaks the rhythm. Tough to control for GU Yuting.
Yeah, she took the ball a little bit later, but then she played with a lot of spin. The ball was also long, so good quality. The same GU Yuting now. Nice.
So 11 points to 6. GU Yuting of China takes game number 1, and Hina Hayata's got her work cut out for her. Game 2 coming up right after this. And we're back for game number 2. Hina Hayata giving the Onegai Shimasu to her coach before starting. Now getting ready for the action. She's down 0 games to 1.
Was no spin at all, but it didn't look like. Even GU Yuting didn't thought.
You were talking about her serve?
No, I thought about the first top spin.
Good, okay, good. Good.
It was going directly in the nets.
Yeah, I was curious as well because the serve took quite a kick and then
yeah,
good surprise there. You hear the sound a little bit flatter from Hina Hayata's counter. Again, when it comes to speed, I feel like the Chinese players are so good at, even in the short strokes, keeping some topspin on the ball.
They play with the power. You can see how she's giving the power in the ball, and she's perfect on the ball with the body, so she can give full power to the ball. She's hitting a lot of edges, Hina Hayata, with the backhand. Sometimes she gets the ball in the middle, sometimes it's deep backhand, but actually it looks like it's really spinning. This one was a little bit shorter and higher.
Yeah, I think this might partially be because she's getting a bit more topspin than she's used to, so she's trying to close, and therefore there's less surface area of the racket, so it's going to be, you're going to see edges more. But early in the rally, I think her chances are a little bit better. She's going to have to, again, with serve and receive, set herself up well and try to finish the point quickly. The longer the point goes on, the more it favors the stronger player.
Yeah.
Typically, anyway.
Yeah. But she doesn't feel that she feels the ball, that she can play like comfortable, because I think GU Yuting is doing very good job with the also placement. She's changing a lot, sometimes long ball, sometimes shorter, sometimes deep forehand. I think it's really she changed.
A little bit of kick of her own. Hina Hayata's shot jumps up into the edge of the racket. Now, even though GU Yuting is so fast, her forehand is still going to take a little bit more time, be the more expensive stroke. Have you had a chance to play GU Yuting before?
No, I didn't.
And Hina Hayata?
Also not.
See if we can make that happen soon, Donna.
Yeah, we will see.
Wow. Ooh, beautiful strawberry there, wide out. I mean, it's rare to see someone do that out of reach to a player. Left-handed versus left-handed. Look at that. Strawberry shortcake here from Hina Hayata. That one had a lot of kick on it. I mean, you could see the surprise from Hina Hayata at the bounce of the ball and, of course, the contact.
Yeah, she's trying to play the ball really on GU Yuting's body, as you can see now. But she take the ball really perfect and play deep forehand with a lot of spin, as you said.
Let 4, 5.
Well, this is interesting, changing up the pace, playing it a little bit softer.
Speed down, a little bit more spin maybe, and the ball was definitely higher, so we will see if it will work. Because she, Hina Hayata must change something if she will continue like this. I think it seems to me that GU Yuting is now better.
Yeah, this is one of the many tricks. When I think about non-Chinese players having a chance against the Chinese national team players, even if they're second string or third string, change of pace can be the most effective. I mean, Stefan Fagel we saw against Zhang Jike and almost over Fan Zhendong in 2015 in Poland. And yesterday gave a tough match to Yan'an. But change of pace is often effective. It's just a question of timing, right? We saw what happened the next point when GU Yuting was ready for the slower shots. She was right on top of it and demolished the ball.
To change the speed is the most difficult thing in the table tennis, I guess. And if you can really change good, then you can beat not only Chinese, but everybody.
Yeah. Ni Xiaolian, so strong at the change of pace. Of course, Waldner and many other legends.
Let 6, all.
Risky serve. I'm just thinking this is like skating on the edge right there. Serving with side spin that bends back into the body wide to the forehand off of a high toss serve. We see a lot of service errors for serves attempted like this. So bravo to Hina Hayata.
Very good.
For me, this is a clever idea, and this is the right tactic, right? If you're going to play some slow shots, find a good time to come in, try to punch it to the middle.
Yeah, but she also, Hina Hayata must be ready for the slow balls. If she plays the slow, then she must be ready and wait a little bit for the ball that she can play fast. But idea was very good, and I think if she keeps continue like this, then she has a chance.
Oh, burned in the scream of victory. Big forehand on the step around. It's like as the stroke was finishing from GU Yuting, Hina Hayata's was about halfway through. Watch the timing on this. Long push, the bait, very short stroke falling back. Beautiful execution from Hina Hayata. Whew, that one's not coming back.
This was really, like she hit the ball, like really hit.
Sits up a little bit. She still
Yeah.
had to do some work to get around and in position for such a hard flat hit. It's difficult when a ball's high to the backhand side. Especially difficult to play a backhand with a high ball to the backhand. I think Jorgen Persson getting up on one foot, I think of that a lot. Oh, clever play, but the fast feet of GU Yuting recovers, reaches the ball, counters it back.
Yeah, a little bit with luck, but this is also table tennis.
Had her head down. It was just sort of a whatever I can do to get to the ball. Still knows how to bring it back up to the table.
New service.
Great rally, but again, the top edge of the racket. We talked earlier about the different tomahawk serves we see. The tomahawk serve as opposed to the reverse tomahawk, where you're using the forehand side of the racket for the tomahawk. Hina Hayata's looks quite different than, say, Dmitry Ovcharov's, Kenta Matsudaira's. But Kenta Matsudaira and Ding Ning both do one close to the head because they have the reverse, so they don't want people to know which side of the racket they're going to use.
10, 9,
That was my first time, I think, seeing the tomahawk, though, from Hina Hayata in a long time.
Yeah, definitely in this match was for the first time she used this serve. And also now short receive. It was, I think, also for the first time she received short and she made the point.
11,
And she saved the first game point, but couldn't get the second. It's a 2-0 lead for GU Yuting over Hina Hayata. Stick around, game 3 coming up right after this.
go to serve, love all.
Back for game number 3. GU Yuting had a chance to talk to Chun Bin, her coach, who was a former national team player, quite experienced
Love 1,
pen holder from back in the day, played for the Hubei province team, the provincial team.
2,
Very aggressive receive.
Right, and you and I talked earlier about how important it'll be for Hina Hayata to get into the point quite effectively early on. Forehand flip, I feel like this is going to be coming back. It's old school. I mean, not super old school, but compared to all the new stuff we see, like the Chiquita and the Strawberry and other things, the forehand flip's very important.
But a lot of players is really young players. They are not used to it, to the rare flips like we learned when we were young, and they are quite surprised because the ball has no spin, no down spin, no up spin, so it's just flat.
Right.
So many times they can't play back the ball.
This is nice placement. Hina Hayata down the middle of the table, not giving that wide wingspan to GU Yuting. We've seen how strong she can be when she gets that full forehand stroke in. turns the corner, pays for it, leaves open the forehand side, and Hayata, like a wall, brings it back, reflects, changes the direction to take the point.
Yeah, and the parallel, she bring it back like nothing.
Super casual.
Yeah, it's
Something
like normal point.
Right, exactly. Just another day, another day. Oh, nice play. Once again, changing the direction. Now, look at the scoreboard. I mean, I was thinking about the conversation we had. I mean, I don't know if I should quote you word for word, but it was definitely looking quite strong. And I think the whole world watching this would say the same about GU Yuting over Hina Hayata. But this score is quite a surprise right here.
Yeah, she didn't make any mistakes on the beginning of this set, so she did really good placement. The ball, well, this was also good.
Curse of the commentator.
They're playing body to body.
Yeah. You're familiar with the curse of the commentator? As soon as you say something like this has never happened before, it happens right after that, and you're like, oh, excuse me. Ooh. This is pretty rare to see a tomahawk chop block. People using their forehand to put side spin on with the racket head up mid-rally.
Yeah, but Soch is playing this very often.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a tricky player who's improving a lot, I'd say.
Yeah, she's disturbing the game with it. Everybody is expecting the block or top spin. And she used tomahawk.
I feel like for table tennis fans around the world, that could be a fun joke to play. Be like, hey, I think Bernadette Soch is disturbing the game. And they're like, yeah, me too. You're like, but that tomahawk chop block. Oh, I see.
I think she's disturbing with everything. Not only the tomahawk.
Rocking the boat, though, shaking it up. It makes it interesting. I think, she's fighting hard. She's not playing like other players. She's quite vocal. She's quite colorful and expressive. And it's been exciting. It's been exciting to watch.
And she's really young, so...
Many years ahead.
Yes.
Lots of years of boat rocking. Now this is great placement on a serve to get such hesitation out of GU Yuting there. Hina Hayata rarely is going to get such submission for just an outright point on her serve. There's that change of pace again. Very nice, Donna.
But it must be really, the ball must be deep, like on the line, and a little bit higher. That GU Yuting has really problems to like have arm up and play the ball back.
This is interesting. In the women's game, we see so many fast, short strokes that when given some of those high opportunities, it's a bit unusual. Oh, after such a beautiful receive, such a controlled backhand, I don't think she can regret the receive. Maybe she was just shadow practicing her fourth ball. So still 6 game points left for Hina Hayata. There it is, heavy underspin on the pendulum serve to the forehand side, and 11-4. Hina Hayata has been woken up. We'll see what happens. The match continues. Game 4 coming up right after this. We are back for game number 4. Donna, you were saying they weren't really playing last game.
It was actually just service and receive. I had a feeling Hina Hayata was changing a lot. Sometimes the really strong down spin, sometimes up. And I had a feeling that GU Yuting didn't feel the service very good. So that's why it was really fast end of the point.
Well, score-wise, there's no question about who that favored. Hina Hayata winning 11-4 in the last game. If she can keep up similar tactics and force GU Yuting to play the first 2 shots of the rally with that much pressure, she's going to be very effective. And again, a short point here, even though she had to play a third ball on the run. Still, GU Yuting just doesn't look like the same GU Yuting we saw in the first 2 games.
Yeah, they don't play. The ball is not on the table. It's like first, second ball, service, receive, and 1 point more. Oh, she looks like... Look, now she moved in the middle of the table by receiving.
Oh, after all that work, Hina Hayata with some incredible shots, and the fast feet of GU Yuting chases it down to save the points. You know, we saw earlier Hina Hayata on the run winning some points, but this was, I mean, they really played a lot of quality balls here. She was mid-air, like leaping through. Her feet must have been a good 5 feet apart when she contacted that forehand.
Slow ball. Really, Hina Hayata is changing in speed, and the GU Yuting doesn't respond very good on that. She likes fast balls, and she's not getting them. She's getting spinny and slow balls.
Note to self, you're going to be playing someone who's used to a really high pace of play. Change it up. Yeah, if GU Yuting can make the game her game, if she can get her style out here on the table and have Hina Hayata simply responding, it's going to be tough for Hina Hayata to take another game in this match, let alone win the match. But still close here in the first 5 points of game number 4. Nice changes of pace. I mean, some fast pace of play, which as we know, GU Yuting is quite excellent in. But then slowing it down, just mixing it up, keeping it changing all the time.
And comes mistake. But Hina Hayata is placing also really good in the deep backhand now. She is playing more backhand than before. Then she's also, her forehand is not open so much like if she's playing deep forehand.
This might be a funny way to think of it, but I like to think of it this way, especially when you just described it. Sometimes I think of table tennis tactically as a chase. Like if you can keep changing your tactics so by the time your opponent's figured out how to respond, you're not giving them the same shot, that's very effective. And I feel like Hina Hayata's been quite effective since the start of game 3 in changing her tactics. Although, curse of the commentator, strawberry comes up, spills out of the cup, falls off the plate, so to speak.
I think it was not downspin so much like she thought it will be.
Did you see the guy in the background who looked like he was sort of part of the poster?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was looking at the player.
It was between when they showed in the background. You'll see.
This one.
If he holds really still, he looks like he's part of the poster. Casual. He fits in perfectly.
With the colors.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nice spinny shot, slower, but a lot of wrist on that one. Really got tuck in. You can see a little bit of the Batmobile there in the background. BMW, BMV as they say, I think, in Europe.
I love them. 2 days ago, I sit in the blue one. You cannot see in the camera, but I really love them.
Me too. That's weird. It's not a huge car. I'm surprised I didn't see you. Must have been different times.
You didn't sit next to me.
Exactly.
It was early morning.
Oh, no, I'm not even awake then. Might have been at breakfast. All right, so GU Yuting up 3 points now. Second serve here. Cool look at the World Tour logo on the D40 Plus balls.
Again, spinny ball, again body in the middle to Hina Hayata, and a point. GU Yuting takes the lead in the game 4. 8-4 is already a lot of points lead.
You know, if it's the other way around, if Hina Hayata were leading 8-4, we'd say, well, with the Chinese players, you never know. They can always come back. A little bit tougher on the Hina Hayata side.
This is true. Wow, nice shot. Really good.
Tougher in the sense that it just seems a little bit less likely, but still a lot of work either way. Quality of play here. Opening spin shot, and from the middle, one forehand. Smart play to play parallel, going out with that backhand.
Backhand service. Let's see.
Play, please.
Oh, just one too many. A finishing pose there from Hina Hayata. Looks like something that could cause a strain, but I think it was after the moment of play.
I know that Hina Hayata, she cannot play slow all the time, but it seems to me like a faster game is, she has less chance to make a point. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah. It's GU Yuting's game. That's
Yes.
her speed, her pace of play.
Nice.
Now this is a smart way to use it, I feel. Of course, with deep pushes, you've got a little bit more predictability for the shot, and you can allow your opponent to have a big opening attack if you're confident in your counter or your short block, or short stroke block anyway. But Hina Hayata really using her opponent's speed and spin well there for placement. An excellent read. That serve, I think it might have looked like a little bit more underspin, but was actually kicking with side top. Hayata read it perfectly to play the receive.
But look, with power, she...
Ooh,
you
straight
see the
side.
power from the wrist.
Yeah, Hina Hayata's wrist, that's right. You're talking about GU Yuting?
No, Hina's Hayata.
Good, okay, good.
Yeah.
Donna was laughing for a minute. I thought maybe I had misunderstood.
No, you understood perfect.
Awesome, thanks. From down 4-8 to back 7-9 with two serves here. And a big inside-out forehand.
But you see, we thought 8-4. Not so much chances maybe for Hina Hayata, and now 8-9. And she's serving, and I think GU Yuting is taking a timeout.
That's right, Chun Bin in the corner talking to the young protege, GU Yuting. So what are you telling GU Yuting right now in the corner, Donna?
This is a very difficult question, but I will prefer, or I will tell her that maybe to try really go over deep forehand from Hina Hayata, because if she wants to play GU Yuting fast balls, I think she has to avoid the backhand side, because the ball comes really back. Hina Hayata is really strong on this side of the table, so body and deep forehand I prefer.
I think that's really insightful, great information. I put you on the spot a bit, and I think that's really good insight. We saw it with Hina Hayata playing wide to the forehand of GU Yuting, and I think as two left-handed players, that definitely could be a winning recipe for GU Yuting. It's going to be tricky in the sense that she doesn't have the first shot of this point. It's Hina Hayata's serve, and Hina Hayata's serves can be quite handcuffing. We'll see.
When she served last time, she tried backhand service, but I think she will serve with the forehand, maybe up spin. So let's see what for tips she got from the coach.
Mika Baba on the Japanese side for Hina Hayata, now the women's national team coach for Japan. Your call was good. The placement of the receive, though, I think Hina Hayata just didn't have the confidence to turn and take the forehand with the little time because of the placement.
Yeah, it was middle of the table. Again, body, not middle of the table. It's, you can't say now in the table tennis play just middle table. It's, you have to look the position of the body.
Well, the position of GU Yuting's body is back to the corner with another game. 11-8, a strong performance, and we've got a 3-1 lead for the young player from China. Stick around. Next game is Game 5, and it's coming up right after this. Back now for game number 5. GU Yuting back in black in the lead. 3-1 over Hina Hayata.
Yeah, again the slow one, but yeah, let's see if it will work.
I'm really curious to see the service variation from Hina Hayata. We've seen her try out a few new things. The backhand, that tomahawk serve, I only recall once so far in this match. And the strawberry, that's the second time that we've seen her lift up and out, and there wasn't as much underspin on it as maybe she thought.
Yeah, first time she played was a lot of underspin, but second two was side spin or a little bit up more, and it was always out. She's trying to change something. You can see she pushed long. She didn't do it before.
Some serious power from behind the table. Hina Hayata's forehand as she steps around. The trajectory of that second loop, really a lot of drive to it. Get a change of pace here from GU Yuting. It sounded like it might have clipped the net on the last one, but it definitely slowed down a bit.
Slowed down and was shorter.
Let's see, one more time here. Huh.
One more. No, two more.
3?
No, it was clear. It
Wow,
was
it was clear. Just much more shallow on the
Yeah.
table, as you mentioned. Oof,
This is like perfect. She wants this ball. So I think she must play more in the forehand. I know it's difficult, definitely. But then she gets chance to move GU Yuting, you know? She's like standing backhand side.
Well, she tried for your ideas. I definitely think it's still a good idea. She just has to get that first shot on. There's very small margin for error.
GU Yuting is playing the balls that she doesn't get the ball in her deep forehand, so she forced the game that she's playing backhand against Hina Hayata. She's definitely better, as you can see the score.
It's funny, a lot of viewers who are newer to table tennis might wonder why the players stand so far off to the side to start the points. And a lot of it is to challenge somebody. Like if you saw Yu Sung Min, right, or a traditional pen holder, they don't even have, like most of their body is outside the table saying, yeah, I dare you to try and serve down the line to my forehand, see what happens. And so your positioning really can affect the mentality and the placement of the opponent. Pretty interesting to see out here how these players are using that.
Yeah, it's a mental game.
Nice change of placement and pace, of course. A few softer shots, and with the big opportunity on the forehand side, Hina Hayata with the first big attack.
The first forehand was very high quality. It was long ball, a lot of spin. That's why she gets the chance. Hina Hayata gets the chance to play really strong shot, another ball.
It's going to be tough to play to the short side of the table with that much spin coming at you for a parallel like that. I was thinking about Japan versus China, just simply the lineup. You know, the Japanese women are improving so quickly, but still China a few steps ahead. You know, we were talking earlier about there were 4 tables being played, and there were 4 Chinese young players versus 4 Japanese players, including Kasumi Ishikawa at the top of the world for Japan right now. And not a single Japanese player survived that round, not on those 4 matches.
Actually, the Japanese players, as I can see them on the tournament, also the coaches, they are working really hard also at the tournaments, and it looks everything professional, and it is, of course, but I think it must be also some kind of frustrating for the Japanese that they are like really working hard. Of course, Chinese too, but still they are better.
Right, investing that much time and effort. Still ways to go. This is not an overnight process. Interestingly enough, if you think about the women's game and you think about how many young Japanese players there are in the top 10 right now, and especially in the top 20, you think, well, Japan's closer on the women's side. But if you compare the best Japanese players to the best Chinese players right now in women's table tennis, it almost seems, I guess it's been a while since we've seen the top Chinese men play, But Fan Zhendong's been beaten recently. Ma Long's been beaten recently. Xu Xin they've all been beaten more recently. So maybe the women are still the stronger team from China than the men, just by comparison. Now we've got the timeout from Hina Hayata, down 1.
I think it's definitely like this. The best Chinese players, they are almost not losing. Actually, I saw a few days ago Tang Yining. There was she was talking about Tamara Borosh, the former world number 2, and she said like it was only European player beat her in all her career from Tang Yining. So I think it's very interesting, and it shows us that they are just not losing, the female Chinese players, not even against European, but also not against Japanese, Hong Kong.
I was just thinking temporarily. I tried to beat Tamara Borosh. I was sort of basking in the compliment of what that would mean to have Zhang Yining say, the only European I've ever lost to was you, Adam Borosh. I was like, yeah, this feels great. What an awesome experience to have beaten Zhang Yining. That's like, put that on your resume, right?
Yeah,
what a
on the
compliment.
wall in the living room.
Yeah, every night before Tamara Borosh goes to sleep. All right, kids, have a good night's sleep. See you in the morning. Don't forget, Mommy beat Zhang Yining. Good night. Who did Mommy beat? Zhang Yining. That's right, kids. Good night.
It must be awesome feeling, I think. Like, the biggest compliment ever.
Honey, could you pass the salt? Oh, by the way, I beat Zhang Yining. Thank you.
Let's get back to the match.
All right, out of the timeout, let's see what Hina Hayata has for an answer on the receive. Ooh, very awkward block. Seemed like it wasn't the sweet spot on the racket. Came back quite soft, but that effort really paid off. You could tell by her reaction that she wasn't happy with the ball coming in. Racket opened up quickly in the block. So now serves here as she takes the first point out of the timeout.
This is the body placement. Almost, I think, perfect. Not almost, it's perfect. It's difficult for GU Yuting to play a ball back and do anything with the ball that Hina is not killing her with the next one.
Right. How often have we seen GU Yuting struggle to get a powerful shot? It's not so easy to do. And look at this, service placement. This is 2 points in a row where she's really just looked uncomfortable, GU Yuting.
Yeah, she's a little bit nervous.
And this is another thing, when I talk about some of the top Chinese players, the best chance anyone has is to get them nervous and less confident. Then they start tensing up, and this is true of anybody, but they can't play their best game.
They can't, but they still has the faces like they're okay. It's very difficult to find out that they don't feel comfortable or nervous or under the pressure. They keep it inside.
Right, maybe partially cultural, respect for their seniors and coaches and whatnot. Expression is just a little bit different of emotion. But yeah, well said. Third towel break of the game, Hina Hayata with 2 game points left. I was trying to think about the expression within the Japanese women's team. Kasumi Ishikawa's been a lot more expressive recently. Seen a lot of emotion from her on the court. Trying to think of the most emotional players from Asia that are at the top of the game.
A lot of Asian players is showing the emotion. If I compare to the players 10 years ago, it was like no emotion at all.
So we'll see. The tides are a-changing and a little bit more happening from continent to continent, but it's Hina Hayata 11-8 to take her second game, and she keeps it alive. Game number 6, Hina Hayata versus GU Yuting, coming up right after this. Back for game number 6. Hina Hayata has 45 points total and GU Yuting exactly the same, yet GU Yuting is leading 3 games to 2. That all comes down to Hina Hayata winning 11-4 in game number 3.
Very good backhand in GU Yuting's backhand. She actually, I had a feeling like she's moving in the middle already or in the forehand to cover another side.
Ooh, man. All these shots are quality. In that last forehand, you're aware that there's a very vulnerable forehand side of the table left wide open for Hina Hayata to have to chase down. But it pays off because the pressure was just too hot to handle, too cold to hold. It's a Ghostbusters reference. There's some expression, a 360 spin on one foot from Hayata.
That's the long receive with a lot of downspin. Then, as we could see, GU Yuting play really powerful.
I got you, I got you. You know, it's funny, from where we're sitting watching that on TV, if it weren't for the body language of the 2 players, it looked like that ball was like perfectly in line with the table. It could have come down on the table. We only saw it was about 15 feet behind. Even here for a moment, it looks like it might come down. This one felt a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit too far out in front. The body wasn't quite right for Hayata to time that counter.
But the spinny ball a little bit shorter and Hayata's middle of the table. It's difficult to decide. Take it with the forehand, take it with the backhand, because the ball is very also quick.
Oh, after all those saves, 2 big ones, still almost gets it back, but a very focused and determined GU Yuting hangs in there to finish the point.
But look, the reaction from Hina Hayata to the net ball. Okay, we don't see it. So
I
look,
do.
the footwork from GU Yuting.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's, you know, before you got here today, I know you drove from a little ways to get here to join me. Thank you. But we were talking, me with the rest of the English-speaking audience or English-listening audience, about the footwork of the Chinese national team and how it's just in a class of its own.
It's perfect. It's exact on the balls and always right.
The physical conditioning that goes into this, I mean, there are different shapes and sizes on the Chinese national team. But like Chun Meng, for example, stronger in the quads, but is so fast, and especially since she came back from injury in 2015, I feel like she's even faster and stronger, although she's been knocked out of the tournament now.
Yeah, I saw in the draw.
Not this time, top of the net and out. Hayata back within 2, getting a little bit of confidence here. Looked like she was practicing her push
the receive,
game.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit more like deep. Not so short, that she, when GU Yuting starts the first ball, comes slower. She can play the next ball with a lot of pressure. Very good receive. But as we can see, I think Hina Hayata starts to place the service only in the backhand from GU Yuting. I think this sets, it's almost all serves diagonal. And now for sure, parallel long service.
100% for sure. No question. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. That's okay.
So I was wrong, sorry.
That's okay. Predictions can be tough, right? People always say, who do you think's going to win? Oh, by the way, she just patted her stomach there. She has onaka in Japanese written on her hand, which means stomach, and it's about her posture when she plays. And when she walks, too. Her physical trainer talks to her. He's got incredible posture. And so she remembers her stomach, and then she pulls her chin back into her chest a little bit.
Really?
Yep. Ask a pro anything with
Nice.
Hina Hayata. Yeah, she talked about what was written on her hand and why it's there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, it was cool to see it in action out here. Great placement there, deep to the backhand corner, and especially after short play, when you got your opponent in at the middle of the table, that's going to be tough to get in position for.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know if you go right or left. You don't see until the last moment where the opponent will place the ball.
Two big shots. I didn't think she'd recover after that first shot. She got so low, to get back up can be quite disorienting.
Just well done.
Ooh, clever. Short to the forehand side. A bold serve from Hina Hayata.
Some changes in the end of the set.
You know, and if you can do this effectively, win a point off it, it also is going to add some hesitation to GU Yuting in her game for the short game and on the service receive. These next few points could dictate the outcome of this game and potentially the match.
Definitely she can feel also uncomfortable that she's not getting the balls in the backhand.
Oh, this was a great start to a point for Hina Hayata to keep the ball in play, and then that cross-court forehand from GU Yuting. Hayata was there. We've seen her keep this ball in play.
Yeah, I thought actually she will win the point when I saw the beginning, but until the end you never know who will win the point.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing at middle and near the end. Not one of those 2 points. Those were crucial to take at least one of those last two, but now 4 match points for GU Yuting.
Very difficult for Hina Hayata to come back in the match and play 7th game, but she's on serve.
Very quality third ball attack from the backhand side. The bold is favored here. Hina Hayata saves a match point, but still has 3 to go. And this serve was not as long or as deep as she wanted. The idea was right, but the execution falls a bit short, literally and figuratively. The game and match goes to GU Yuting of China. The 22-year-old world rank number 41 will move on to the final 4 on the women's side of the game. Solid handshake from Coach Mika Baba and an impressive performance for me. I mean, Hina Hayata from the start of this, you know, we talk off the record about the match, and it was not looking good in the first 2 games, and then Hina Hayata out of nowhere in game 3, and even in game 5 pulls out a big victory, but dominates game 3.